Hey everybody, hope you're having a wonderful day. Before we get into the specifics of today's video, two things we need to cover. Number one, massive thank you to everybody who has watched the documentary. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, I put out a documentary on Manzanares a couple days ago. Reception has been amazing. Greatly appreciate all the kind words. On to the next big project. Number two, what we're talking about in today's video, we're going to be talking about the fall split. The RLCS 22-23 season has officially begun, and last week we had qualifiers and everything else. That doesn't really tell us about what's happening this entire split for the next month and a half or so. So in today's video, I'm going to break that down. Specifics on all three regionals, what to look forward to, how the teams that are competing have gotten there. Everything you need to know about the fall split will be covered in this video. So we're going to break it down step by step, a couple different parts, make it as simple as possible, and hopefully understandable for y'all because there is a lot of moving pieces. And the nice thing is this is the most complicated of all of them. So first things first, the fall split, what does that mean? What does that entail? What do I have to look forward to? The nice thing about this season, it is pretty much a copy and paste of last season, where there is going to be 3 regionals, and based upon performances in those regionals, you then go to a major. That is the whole purpose of it, and they've done a couple things along with that. The big one is they have simplified the points. In the past, it was like 300 plus for different events. That is no longer the case. We're talking like 32 points for winning and 24 for second place, which makes it a lot easier to identify and figure out like how much or what the results are. Things have been weighted a little bit differently, but overall, very, very similar. The big difference now with regionals is that they have specific names: the Fall Open, the Fall Cup, and the Fall Invitational. So Regional 1, 2, and 3. Talk about Regional 1. Regional 1 is also known as the Fall Open, and the reason why is because it is the open qualifier portion. And this is different to fall compared to anywhere else. The Fall Open has nothing else to base the teams off of. There's no previous history for this season, so they have to run some pretty crazy open qualifiers. And this is specific only to fall. The way they do this is in a couple different ways. The first one is they want to give credit to the previous teams. If you are a pre-existing team, they don't want to have to make you go through a grueling process where upsets can happen. They want to make sure that the best teams are putting their best foot forward. They do this by doing an invitational. It's called the Top 16 Qualifier, and they invited 16 of their like most prolific teams or their best teams that they think are most likely to make it into like the majors. Those 16 teams ended up playing last week, a week ago on Friday, and the 8 winners from that ended up progressing to the main event, while the 8 losers went to a closed qualifier. This is all being done under a Swiss format. So if you guys don't remember Swiss, the way that it applies is they want strength in numbers. So the strongest teams are playing the strongest teams and the weakest teams are playing weakest teams. With 16 teams, you can get 3 wins and progress to the next event. Or if you get 3 losses, you end up going home. So the teams that got 3 wins, there was 8 of them because they're cutting the teams in half, ended up going to the main event, which they are playing now on Friday of this week on the 7th, I'm pretty sure it is. And the losers, because they are still better than the other teams that were not invited, hypothetically, get a second chance, and they go to the closed qualifier. So you have those 8 teams there. They are waiting on what also happened at the same time, the open qualifier teams. The benefits of an open qualifier is that anybody can sign up. You, me, whoever can pick up and sign up a team and go and try to compete. So through the open qualifiers, because they need to get rid of teams faster, they start with a double elimination. And once they find those 8 teams that progress out of the double elimination tournament, those 8 then join the 8 that lost from the original top 16 qualifier. So they have 16 teams, they play Swiss again, and the 8 that make it out of that then join the 8 that originally made it out of top 16. So now we're in the main event. This is a regional 1, and that is what is going to run. We have 16 teams, let them play. First to 3 wins progresses to the playoffs, and the 8 that lose end up, better luck next time, which is in, ironically, 2 weeks. So now that we have our 8 teams, this is on Saturday and Sunday. On Saturdays, they are going to run a quarterfinal match. So it'll be 4 matches. Broadcast should be about 4 hours. And then on Sunday, they're going to run the 2 semifinals and the grand finals. Big fan of single elimination brackets because team streams on Friday cover all 33 best of 5s through your various teams that you want to support. And then Saturday and Sunday, 4 hours, 3 hours, super easy. Really quick way to watch the broadcast. Big fan of Swiss into single elimination. Probably my favorite format for Rocket League. After we get through all of that, we then go and the off week hits. So NA and EU are going to alternate between every other week. Teams like South America and OCE and all the other regions that are expansion regions also play at those same times. It gets a little bit muddled. But primarily, you need to know that NA starts, EU goes the next week, then NA goes Regional 2, EU goes Regional 2. NA does Regional 3, EU does Regional 3. And they go back and forth. South America runs in line with Europe, and I forget, I think OCE does run in line with America. I could be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure that's how it is. MENA and everybody else in APAC, they also get sprinkled in some areas. Going to focus primarily on NA and EU because that's what dictates everything. Now, the complication with the fall split is due to the fact that the way they do seeding is based upon 3 recent events. There is no 3 recent events to go off of. So my assumption is that they're going to take the most recent event and then some seeding based upon RLCS overall points and stuff like that, and provide those automatic bids where they give 8 teams an automatic spot into the main event, while the other 8 that are ranked 9 to 16 overall will sit in the invitational or the closed qualifier, where the other teams come through that double elimination. Top 8 get to go into the closed qualifier, then they break down into 8, just like we saw in Regional 1. Just this time, there's not like a top 16 qualifier on top of everything else. It simplifies, it gets rid of one process. So that summarizes the Fall Open. We then go into the Fall Cup, and it's rinse and repeat. You take the 8 teams that are the best rated in the RLCS at the current moment. You give them an automatic spot into the second regional, which is known as the Fall Cup. The other 8 that are ranked 9 to 16 will end up being in the closed qualifier, and the other 8 that join them come from the open qualifiers, the double elimination tournament, where they try to find the top 8, just like they did in the first week. That's Regional 2. It's the most consistent to what we saw last. And then when we get to Regional 3, which is the Invitational, so Fall Invitational, this one is different. It is not based upon qualifiers anymore. It is simply who are the top 16 teams in rankings. And the reason why they do this is for 2 reasons. One, it's super entertaining. When you have 16 teams that are all towards the highest in the ratings possible, it incentivizes every single result. It is no longer 3 most recent events. It is who is currently the best and most consistent teams in the standings, no matter how badly or how good their ebbs and flows are. If you are top 16 in the ratings, you get an invite as long as the team still remains. So a lot of incentive to stay together and continue to build throughout the season. Second thing is for tiebreaker scenarios, which also kind of keeps everybody still in the running. Those top 5 spots are heavily sought after. And when you have the top 16 teams, you don't have someone playing spoiler. You don't have a random upset that potentially happened. The Fall Invitations, Regional 3, are going to be crazier than they've ever been, because literally everybody has usually a chance at that point. So that makes me really excited on how that stuff is going to break down. But overall, that's really the only changes. It's pretty straightforward. And then you alternate along with the expansion regions. You then also have 3 regionals. Those 3 regionals, top 5, then end up going into the major. The first major is going to be in the Netherlands. It'll be Rotterdam, Netherlands at Rotterdam Ahoy. Probably butchering that, saying that wrong. The exact dates will be from December 8th to the 11th, 2 days in person. So if you guys are looking to book your flights and your trips, that is the place to do it. Same format as well. Swiss into single elim throughout all of fall. Nothing changing there. So other than that, prize pools are the same as well. It's $100,000 for every regional, $300,000 for majors, $6 million prize pool for the entire season. That is staying the exact same. And other than that, pretty straightforward. These happen every other week. Whether you're NA or EU, I recommend on the Fridays, tune into your favorite teams, watch their up to 5 matches, and then tune in for the matches that you want. But the nice thing is on Saturday and Sunday, the broadcasts at most are 4 hours. So I can muster that. I can sit for 4 hours and be like, cool. After that 4th game, I'm kind of like, I'm done. But so is the broadcast. So it works out pretty easily. So that's the plans for that. If you guys do have any additional questions about this kind of stuff, feel free to let me know in the comments down below. More things coming up soon. I will be breaking down roster changes officially now that we have all those teams going to be locked in. So I will do NA and EU, letting you know the specific rosters, the ones to pay attention to based upon results and all that kind of stuff. I usually round it out around like 16 to 20 teams, I would say, to keep you guys up to date on the bigger changes. So that'll be coming in the next couple of days. So we'll have that going on. We've also got breakdowns of close qualifier information. EU is on the horizon. So a lot of really cool things to discuss. But yeah, we're going to be pretty busy over the next few days. So if there is anything I missed, if there's anything you'd like me to break down more specifically in regards to the roster changes or just the fall split or future, I'm going to do these every single, like these are going to become a staple on the channel. Everything you need to know about so-and-so split, everything you need to know about World Championship, just so you don't have to go and look for it. You don't have to try to figure out things on a website. You can just tune in here and I'll break it all down for you. We'll have additional tools. I'm sure Adam Core is going to continue to do his spreadsheets for his predictions and all that kind of stuff. So anything you would like me to do differently this season compared to last season, let me know in the comments down below. At the end of the day, trying to increase the quality of the content and the stuff that you guys want. So that's going to do it for today's video. As always, don't miss out on anything. Easiest way to do so: comment, like, subscribe, turn on notifications, and I will see you in the next video.